Hey Heather, let's do a quick mic check. Hey French fries, welcome. Okay, Twitch is done. I can't. Oh well. So today is only a YouTube stream. All right, let's get the camera up and running. Oh, I had the camera up the whole time. I just didn't have it set properly. Okay. Well, I'm doing a great job of stream today. There we go. Alrighty. So I'm going to be working on this painting some more today. Hopefully, I don't know, hopefully I can finish it today. That'd be great. Um, I'm working on some other videos and stuff. I was working on one video and my computer, not my computer, my camera uh, overheated and shut down during the recording. Only I didn't know it happened until it was a bit, too late. So videos will be coming this week, but they might be a little delayed. Oh well. I also have an interesting experiment to do today. We'll see. We'll see if I can do it today. I'm curious. Want to try something. I I bought a what is it called? I don't know what these are called, but it's for cooking. And I want to see if I can use it for painting. So we'll see. I don't know that this painting's the best to test it on, but you know, maybe. But yeah, sorry, I forgot to ask. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a great weekend. What have you been up to? French says about to raid the kitchen for new art supplies. I mean, you know, nothing wrong with that. Um, it's not the first time I've used stuff like this. I actually bought a because I was teaching a class, like a workshop, and some people don't have the you know, they don't have like the silicone brushes I have, like these ones, you know. And I wanted people to feel comfortable and not worry about it, so I bought this silicone um, spatula at at the grocery store. It was like $2. You know, it works fine. It's really usable. The only problem is they tried to get too cutesy with it, and it has these. I don't know if you can see it. It has these like sprinkles in it. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. It has these fake sprinkles in it, and there's one right up here. And when I push too hard, it scratches the paint because I'm assuming it's just hard plastic, you know. That's the only real downside that I have to say about it. Otherwise, yeah, you can totally use stuff like that to paint. Don't use it to cook with afterwards, but as long as you differentiate between the two, yeah, absolutely. Gonna have cadmium eggs for breakfast. There you go. That should be totally healthy. Not a problem at all. What's a little heavy metals in your food, you know? Goes great with the microplastics. Yeah. But you see, that's the advantage, right? Because most paint comes in metal tubes, you know. So you don't even have to worry about the microplastics. It's just, you know, lead, right? Maybe aluminum. I don't know what they make the plastic tubes out of. But yeah, I mean the metal tubes out of, but you know, yeah, don't even have to worry about the microplastics. I mean, yeah, the lid is microplastics and everything else has microplastics in it, but you know, whatever. So I think I figured out the solution for Twitch, but I can't. It's too much work to try and get it to work today, so it will have to be another time. Not that anyone in here cares, but for anyone watching after the fact or something, yeah. Alrighty. So I am just going to draw into this a bit. No, French fries. First of all, no worries about missing a stream, but no, I didn't. I did not fix it. In fact, I had to give up on using Twitch today. I can't stream there. Um, I might be able to fix the problem. Uh, it's complicated. I I might have to, and this is a maybe. Might have to update my OBS, install new plugins, make sure my old plugins work, then set up a multi-video stream for Twitch, and then I can also stream to YouTube. But the multi-video stream on Twitch is beta, and I might not have access to that, so it might not entirely work. So it's a whole ordeal. I don't know why it's suddenly an issue, because I hadn't changed anything, but it is, and that's what it, it is what it is. I don't know. It's very frustrating. But yeah, not much I can do about it, unfortunately. I mean, other than try those steps, but it's, those steps are a huge pain and time consuming. So I tried to figure something out for today. I downloaded a new plugin for multi-streaming that, was supposed to work. It didn't work. So, yeah, I think it has to do with like the quality that I'm outputting, 1440p, and they don't want you to do that, and it's causing problems. So yeah, that's where it's at now, unfortunately. Anyways, all right, let's get started on this. I need to oil out first, because it is bone dry. So yeah, that, streaming seems like it's always like, you know, it, there's always like technical problems constantly. I don't know. So for anyone who's curious, why am I, uh, out of camera on the floor while I'm trying to oil out? It's because this way I can see the reflection off of the wet oil, so I can know where, where it's been oiled out and where it still needs oil. And the idea with oiling out is to put a very thin, very small amount, minimum amount of oil as possible. It's just enough to make the paint slide around, feel like it's wet, wet on wet, and also to bring back anything that has sunken in. Which admittedly in this one, I don't think is too bad, but that's a little bit. That's what it's for. And this panel just, I don't like the texture on this panel. Even after putting a layer of paint on, it feels like it still requires way too much oil just to oil out. Using a paper towel now just to absorb some of the oil because I don't want it to have too much oil. That would be bad. All right, now let's get to the drawing phase. Come on, all my paint is dry too? All right, I guess I'm cleaning my palette real quick. Thought all my paint would be wet still. What happened? I must have left it longer than I realized. Thought I'd put it away right away, but maybe I'm mistaken. You know what's funny is if you look at the brushes that we have today, and you look at like some of the old master, old masters, like, and you look at their brushes, because some of them literally have their brushes in like museums and stuff, or there's photos of them or whatever. Oh my God, some of those brushes were like, the quality is just horrendous. And you look at what they were able to do with these like really horrifically bad brushes, and you're just like, wow, that is honestly astonishing. I was going to start drawing, but then I realized I actually have enough color and stuff here that I can do this stage with a little bit more finesse. So let's start that. All right. So what I mean by finesse in this regards is I can, even though I can't see my reference properly and I can't evaluate my colors properly because of that, or values, I can't evaluate anything basically because I essentially can't see my reference right now. I can just see my painting and the reference overlaid to give me an idea of where things need to go. But I already have paint down, so I can try to match this, for instance, and just move the edge over. That way I don't have to cover the quinacridone rose later. Can't do that everywhere, so I will probably draw in with some of the quinacridone rose, but it's one way of doing it. That phthalo blue is so strong. Just, oh, you can't even see it. I'm mixing color, and the phthalo blue just, what's it called? Even though I wiped it off of my brush, there's still enough in the brush to just dominate my mix right now. Sorry you can't see my mixing. This is a 10 by 10, and so it, kind of messes up the proportions a little for the broadcast or the filming. But yeah, I suppose I could close my face window. That would work. But I feel like I should probably leave the face window up. And these hands are, she has her hands like laying on top of, like, clasped behind her back, and it is a complicated setup. I have done that before. I've painted or drawn people with like steepled fingers or like, interlocking fingers and stuff like that. That stuff is challenging, we'll say. One of the things for me personally that I discovered for myself, and every person's painting and drawing is different, and I'm sure there are scenarios where this wouldn't be applicable, but personally, I feel like when I'm doing hands and I'm doing fingers, um, the big thing is to not really get into any of the detail on the fingers until the very end. Um, just paint them without the details, just, cylinders to begin with. And then at the end, that's when you put in all the details, all the knuckles, the folds, all that. But yeah, in my experience, it usually takes away from it and just makes it harder. Like it makes it more difficult, and also it looks worse. So and the funny thing is that a lot of times when you do that, you realize that you end up not having to do nearly as much detail a lot of times. And that depends, of course. If it's a close-up shot of the fingers, you will, but you know, a lot of times, yeah, you don't need to do that much. Just a little bit of indicating where they're at, and that's all you need. Okay. I'll probably paint through this because painting overlapping things like this, it's easier to just paint through it, like the underneath part, and then come back and paint the overlap part. But it's also good to indicate what it is for myself. There are leaves, by the way. It's like overlapping leaves. And for anyone who missed, just thought about it, French fries, it just, you know, you saying you missed Thursday's stream reminded me, anyone who missed Thursday's stream, this painting is a 10 by 10, so it's not my normal 9 by 12. And also it is, this is a new panel I'm trying out, and I, so far, am not crazy about it. I think it could be a good panel. I'd have to prime it though, which kind of defeats some of the purpose of it. Hey Des, just checked Twitch stream isn't up, so I guess you didn't fix it. I tried, but I did not fix it, so I'm not streaming on Twitch. I'm not even attempting it right now. Um, yeah, I tried. They must have changed something, and now it's more of a problem. So, yeah, I'm going to have to do uh, a bit of work to try and get it to be fixed. So, it's definitely not going to happen today. I installed a new plugin. I did some things. I tried to get it to work. Not working. I might have to do a stream just to Twitch to see if I can even stream at 1080p, or to see if there's an even, you know, to kind of troubleshoot, or to see if like maybe there's a bigger problem even that I'm unaware of. I don't know. I think what happened is they're starting to roll out their multi-stream, their multi-quality stream thing, and that changed something in their system. So when I stream 1440p, they don't like it because I don't have the multi-stream set up. Either that or it's something else completely unrelated. have a okay. It's bad joke that I was going to say that I'm not going to say, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is with Twitch. Luckily, YouTube works, so at least YouTube works. But yes, anyone who missed Thursday, this is a new panel. It's the New York Essentials, I think. It's their smooth portrait panels, and it is smooth, but it's weird because it's smooth, but it still has a rough texture. I realize those two kind of seem to go against each other. But imagine like sandpaper, right? Sandpaper is smooth but rough, whereas something can be like very, very bumpy and not uniformed, but you know, um, that would also be rough. So it kind of depends on your definition of rough, I guess. But it is smooth, but it's very feels like sandpaper a bit, and it really sucks up the oil. Yeah. So I'm gonna after this painting, I'm gonna do another one. Because I bought like 3 panels. I'll do another one and try it out, see what it feels like after I prime it. It's supposed to be primed already, but you know, it is cheap. It is a cheap panel, so that, you know, a lot of times the cheaper panels, their priming isn't nearly as good. So I will try priming it uh, somehow and then see how that affects it. I suspect that if I prime it, it will feel absolutely fine because that's been my experience so far with a lot of panels. How are you doing, Des? By the way, Des, I think you did a great job with that study you did, and that the Van Gogh study and the Van Gogh style painting you did. I think you did a fantastic job with those. If I didn't say so before, I don't remember if I did, but yeah, I think you did a great job with that. That says I was worried it would look cheesy, but I think it came out okay. I don't think it looks cheesy at all. I think it came out great. Like I said, I might not be the best judge for like what's cheesy and not, because I don't keep up with a lot of things. So to me, it's like I haven't seen a ton of people do portraits in the style of Van Gogh or anything like that. I'm sure people do it. I just haven't seen a ton of it. But I don't think it came out cheesy at all. I think it came out really nice. I hope they're really happy with it. I found out afterwards that the fan group was having an art contest, so I entered. Nice. I have the most votes so far for the portrait. Oh, that's awesome. Uh, I would be, I wouldn't be surprised if you won. Not at all. For anyone who's been here for a while, and I know quite a few of you have, but I know I talked about this a long time ago because I bought these interference paints a long time ago. Never did anything with them. I really think I'm going to be doing something with them soon just to, even if it's just some tests, just to try and figure out how I can use them. Because I went to this, what was it? I went to this art fair yesterday, which I'm trying to put together a vlog for it. So, I'm not going to talk too much about it right now. But I went to it yesterday and I saw some art, and it just reminded me that like I really wanted to try out I wanted to try out these interference paints because they have they give it such a unique look to things because, it's something that you can't reproduce with a print easily. So, at least, unless you like hand paint it on or something. Maybe they can, maybe they can spot color with interference paint. I don't know. That might be something in print, but probably difficult. So yeah, I definitely want to figure out how I can implement that stuff. For anyone who isn't familiar with interference paint is it's paint that has mica flakes in it, which I didn't know what they were, but apparently they're like white flakes that just reflect light, or they're flakes of some kind that like reflect light. So the paint kind of looks sparkly, so it almost looks like glitter paint, but it's not actually glitter paint. And the reason it's called interference is really interesting. It's because it interferes with the light as it passes through and reflects off of it, and it only reflects like one wavelength essentially, and the rest of it reflects, but it reflects in a different direction, so it scatters it. So something like that. This might not be the most accurate, but so what that means is like whatever color you're seeing back from it, let's say it's, red. So you see the red, and then from other angles, you see it as the lack of red. So the complementary color to red, you see the lack of it essentially. But it also functions as additive and not subtractive color. So what is it? So it's basically RGB. So you know, green and red make yellow, which is just, it's very strange. Like, it feels very strange, but it works. It's not very strong though, for the record. If anyone's like, oh, it's not like you're not painting with light, you know, it's very weak and weird looking. That's why it kind of looks like glitter paint. But it is interesting, and like I said, it's not glitter paint, so a little different. What is going on? That was weird. My Photoshop just tried to quit out on itself. It was very weird. I wonder if someone's trying to access my, like, uh, like in Photoshop, if you, with Adobe Creative Cloud, if someone tries to log in and use Photoshop, if you have it active somewhere else, it'll like try and close it out. Wonder if that's what's happening or what. Because it's very strange. Not that it's related, but when I worked at a studio once, um, we all were using Macs, and sometimes what would happen is the mouse and keyboard they're always wireless, but sometimes they would disconnect from the computer you're using or something for some reason, like it ran out of battery or something. And then you'd charge it, and then if you didn't pair it, sometimes it would pair to someone else's computer. And so you'd be working and suddenly your mouse just starts moving around like crazy and clicking randomly. You're like, what is happening right now? And it's because someone else is trying to use their mouse, but it was registering on your computer for some reason. Yeah, silly stuff like that. Generally, like I know wireless peripherals are easier and sometimes in some ways, but like for office stuff, why? Like why does everything have to be wireless? It's easier to just have it wired most of the time. Trying really hard to resist the urge to grab my smaller brush. Trying really hard to hold fast with this one. Des says, yeah, things are more trustworthy wired, but the wires are a pain. So I guess you have to decide uh, what devices you need wireless. I mean, yeah, I agree with you, but the thing is, I'm thinking about like at the studio that I worked at, right? Like a business like that, where they're not moving things around a lot, right? Like once things are set, they're there for quite a while, usually. It's you know, I mean, there are some computers that were there for years, and it's like, and sometimes, especially with Macs, sometimes the computer is on the desk itself too. It's like it's not even like the like old the towers that are like under the desk or placed really weird. It's like right there. So it's just you know, I know wireless. I know the wires are a pain and can be in the way and all that. But I mean, sometimes it's like right there. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's not even the studio's choice, right? Because the Macs come automatically like that. Like they could probably like work a way around it. Buy it without the mouse and keyboard, and then buy separately. that's more trouble than it's probably worth for them. So they just order and that's it kind of thing. But yeah, it's very silly sometimes. But yeah, without a doubt, the wireless is more convenient a lot of times. Um, but yeah, when you have so many computers all running on the same, like the same wireless technology right next to each other, it does, it can cause problems. And it does. Not like major problems, but enough. I remember back in the day, I wired someone's house for like internet connection, and it's like, don't get me wrong, I still run wires for my place you know, because I'm streaming, but yeah, so nowadays it's like you can just use wireless for 99%, like 99% of people just need wireless. A friend of mine, he's having a uh, a house built. Um, hold on a second, voice. He's having a house built, and that going over the designs of the house, and they're like, they're running, Ethernet and stuff like that through the house and phone lines. They they talk they're talking about all that stuff, trying to figure out like where are the access points and all this, and he had he had it so that he worked it out with them so that they would where some of the access points are, they would just make it so that you could open it and like I think trying to remember if it was like um I think go room to room kind of thing so that he could future proof the house because he's like, yeah, right now, whatever. I think Cat 7 just came out, but like whatever wired connections exist today, like they'll get better. So he wants to future proof the house. I thought that was a cool idea. This is for sure. We had to bust a little hole through the walls to string the wires. Yeah, my sister still hasn't updated to Cat 6 even, even though I have a 50-foot cord to go down to her room. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When when we updated to when we changed internet providers, they actually had to like drill a hole into the house to get the new internet connection, which just sucks that we had to do that. But yeah, that says little cat flaps between walls would be good. Yeah, I agree. Um, you know, I don't think they're very easy to open. Like, I don't think it's just like, flaps like that, but which is good because I think, he has kids and stuff. I'm sure everyone wants their privacy, but the idea still is pretty good. Although I do like the idea of installing some, like, I wouldn't mind, probably not in my room, but I wouldn't mind installing like cat doors or special cat entrances in different rooms to let the cats go from one room to another. Um, even if the door was closed, depending on the room. But yeah, like I said, my room is a no because for their own safety. We did it. We did install cat shelves, and they love them. If I could, I would do like the shelves everywhere, like throughout the house, so they could like run along along the walls and stuff like that. They love that stuff. So the thing I wish we could do more than that though is like a catio. I would love to let the cats outside in a safe in a safe way. Yeah. I think I messed that up. Need to fix it now. But yeah, we went to the art fair yesterday to check it out. Um, it was a lot smaller than I expected it to be. It did get busy. I will say, I think we got there when it wasn't busy at all, but then it seemed to pick up a bit. Um, yeah. Let's see. Des says, I bought a chicken coop that is mostly wired, with an elevated enclosed area. I put it on my deck and the cats love it. Also, I have a large 3-level ferret cage and put that outside for them. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we looked into it. You know, we tried to find some options. Uh, right now is not the right time for me to do it, but yeah, we tried to find some options. We just have, every place has different concerns and so on, or things to like, you know, be careful about. So yeah. Right now we have a neighborhood cat that basically lives in our backyard. Um, and if even if we had a catio, the cats would probably fight with them. Also, they could still, possibly transmit something uh, if they could get that close to each other. So now is not the time for it. But maybe in the future. I saw this thing recently about cats that supposedly claimed that you can tell that the cat's like what's it called? Personality based off of their paws. Um, I don't know how true that is. Doesn't sound right, but you know, you never know. Doesn't sound right though. So I wanted to check it out and see if it applied, like if the thing was real or accurate, but I forgot to. It sounds like, you know, I don't know, astrology for cats or something. But yeah, it's based off of, or palm reading, I guess, for cats, because it's based off of the way their pads, like shape of their pads. So this reference photo is interesting because the original is very, very muted, very dark, very muted. And I did edit it to make it brighter and everything, but it lost some of the like mystery of it. So we'll see. I'm going to try and bring some of that back, but we'll see how it works. Also, I don't know about your cats, Des, but my cats, they I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm wondering if they could bite through chicken wire. Probably not. They would try. Um, they yeah. We have cat carriers that have like fabric mesh, and they have started making holes in the fabric mesh uh, for the cat carriers. So yeah. And we also have a plastic carrier. It's so funny. We have a plastic carrier, and I have it out, and Dresden goes in it, and I play with him by poking things through the holes, and he tries to grab them and bite them and stuff like that. But he's so dumb. When I poke things through the top hole, he tries to bite what the piece of paper that I'm poking through the top. But you know, his head's in the way of his mouth, so he keeps hitting the cage with his head, um, trying to bite the thing that's coming out of the top. I actually stopped doing it because I'm like, he's not learning. He just keeps doing it. I actually stopped, but yeah. This says the coop has the square metal type of wire. Okay. They can't get through it. Yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of foliage in this. And I knew it was there, but it only now registered that I'm going to have to paint all of it. So for this, what I'm doing right now is actually painting what's behind some of the foliage because I'm going to paint on top of it, and I want to be able to have that, the light peeking through, and I don't want to have to like go in and carve it out. I can, and that does happen sometimes, but when I can, it's better to do what's behind first. Okay, you left a pic in the general Discord, so I can see it later. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Thank you, Des. I appreciate it. Okay, for this part, be easier if I put the background color in first and then paint in the individual leaves. So before I was putting in some of this stuff, it was so that I could see it, so I could judge all my values and everything. Now I'm undoing what I already did so that I can go back in and put in those details. And I don't have to, hopefully, go back in repeatedly, like putting the details and then defining them and then fixing them and defining them. And like, hopefully it'll be like a one and done for most of it, at least. Because some of these, like, this is all leaves here, and leaves, it doesn't require, um, you know, like, if I was doing a very detailed painting where I put in like all the details of every leaf, sure, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just kind of suggest all the leaves, in which case some of them can literally be a single mark, but I can't make it a single mark if I have to go in and then put in all the shadows as well. Like here, I probably will have to go in and define some of the shadows, but it's such a big mass, it makes sense to do that. I really need to think long and hard in the future when I go to paint something with a lot of foliage in it. Am I truly prepared for this? Do I want to deal with this? I know some people love it. I'm not those people. I'm listening to this band right now, or this song from a particular band, and I don't know if any of you've ever had this experience, but there are some bands and they have like individual songs that I absolutely love, but most of their music I'm not like it's like okay, but it's not, like crazy good to me. And I just wish they could like do more in the style that I love so much versus like, the other styles that they do. So frustrating. That says, I just found out today that there's a life drawing painting gathering coming up. It's only 2 hours though. How can you get much done in 2 hours? I mean, it depends. If it's you can get a lot done in 2 hours. Depends what you're doing. Is it first of all, it could be quick sketches, although you said painting, so it's probably long pose. I don't know. Usually it's 3 hours. 3 hours is more common. But yeah, you can get quite a bit done, especially if you do like a charcoal drawing versus like a painting, you know? They had a long pose in January that was 3 hours. This one's 2 hours though. Be right back. Dogs want out? Sure. Let's see. Okay. Des says, okay, back I checked into the studio, and I guess they've opened an old church. Looks like a really nice place to paint. Yeah, absolutely, Des. That'd be great. Yeah, it's just a bunch of freaking leaves right here. I will be putting more detail in the leaves and also bring out some more of their light. I'm just trying to get everything all at once. All right, time to mess up the painting. That one probably is going to get completely removed. Oh well. Sometimes you make actual mistakes, not just like happy accidents. That's all good. This is much more controlled what I'm doing for the hair. I just want to blend it a little more and soften up some of those edges so that I can go in with my brush and hit, harder, harsher highlights. Oh, some stretching. Mm. Oh, all right, let's see. What time is it? Getting close. All right. So part of the reason for doing all that is I wanted to, when I brightened up the reference image, it really separated the figure from the background, which is good in some areas, not good in others. So I wanted to blend it all back together a little bit more. So the way to get a lot of things to kind of blend together, if they're, aside from physically blending it together, uh, close values is the main thing that kind of makes things look like they just blend together. So bring something close, you can either raise it or lower or do level them out, either way. That's kind of what I'm going for here. Other thing too that it can be useful is changing their colors. Um, a lot of times people use just a single color for all shadows, and they put in nuanced colors later, but that like single color unifies it all and helps it all kind of merge together. Like her dress here and the tree in between her arms is so hard to differentiate. I don't know if it's even worth it. Maybe because it gives her more shape, but yeah, barely. Like it'll be very subtle. I'll need to do a orange and uh, like teal painting, like color, like a film uh, kind of look. Uh, I don't know. I have to find good reference for that, but yeah, it's still on my list to do. Another thing that can work a lot of times for uh, trying to combine things or get things to merge a little is you can you can do transitions. So if one thing's purple and another thing's, green or blue, you can just do the same color but shift the hue over just a little bit, but keep everything else the same. That can also work pretty well. Yeah, this painting's becoming a lot more subtle in certain areas. Wasn't really planning that, but yeah. One thing I used to really get overwhelmed with when it comes to painting foliage like this is trying to get everything, perfect the way it is in the reference. And I'm sure some people can do that. I can't, or I can, but it takes a lot longer. So instead, I try and get close, get the gist of it. If it's not perfect, there's only a few spots where that really matters. Everywhere else, it's fine. Once again, this is for the back, like setting up a backdrop to put in like silhouettes. So for this canvas, I'm noticing for some of these details, it's actually a little harder to get them correct because of the canvas, because of the texture versus the smooth boards I normally work on. It's a pretty smooth canvas, and I think, it's very minor, but I do notice it. I'm looking forward to the next painting where I get to where I can prime the canvas first. Uh, Hopefully that'll feel better. It's kind of looking like leaves now. Giving the, impression of leaves. Back anatomy is often one that people are really weak at, and I would not claim it to be my strongest either. Although I don't feel like I'm super weak at it, but I don't think I'm as good at like inventing it as I am, uh, like abs or something. All right. Just realized I think I was recording this on the wrong color profile. Oh well. Light tinting I can probably fix in post. Anyways, I am going to call it a day for the stream. I I'm starving and I need to take a break. My legs are still kind of messed up and killing me. So yeah. So I am going to call it a day for the stream. Um, I'll try and figure out how to fix Twitch hopefully before the next stream. Anyways, Des says, have a good night. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Have a great weekend. And I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I will be back Thursday unless I change it to Wednesday, which I'm really tempted to, but we'll see. Trying to think anything else. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got. Like I said, I'm kind of brain fried. So have a good night, have a good weekend, rest of your weekend, and a good week for anyone watching this after the fact. Yeah. Bye, everyone.